is up, YouTube, and welcome again to another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. As always, I'm Provo43, alongside Kane Jr. 88, and Thermite 917. That's right, we're all here again to talk about the wonderful weekend out in California. Auto Club, the Xfinity Race, the Production Alliance Group 300, and the Auto Club 400. Wonderful afternoon of racing both times. So we have a race recap. Kane?
So after a show of a final round of qualifying, Austin Dillon started on the pole as he had to fall back on his round 2 time. It didn't last for long as Denny Hamlin led lap 1 after starting in 6th. Then Eric Almirola led lap 2, and then from there on it was Kyle Busch took the lead, held on from there. Dillon's day got off to a bad start as he ended up cutting a right rear tire to bring out the day's first caution with 5 laps to go in the stage. And then we ended up going to a 1-lap shootout to determine stage 1. And on that restart, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got loose in turn 2 in the middle of the pack. He spun out. Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson also both got damage in that dust-up. And Douche Canoe continues. He goes up and wins stage number 1 under caution. He also wins the race off of pit road, and he continues to lead in stage number 2 while briefly swapping the lead with Joey Logano. The only incident during stage 2 was Daniel Hemrick making contact with the outside wall and cutting down a right rear tire. However, there was no caution and the race stayed green, with Douche Canoe taking stage number 2. Kyle wins the race off of pit road, but gets busted for speeding while exiting and has to restart in 17th, and Brad Keselowski ends up getting the lead as a result. The field gets spread out for the first half of the final stage, but then during green flag pit stops, old Bubba Wallace ends up blowing a left front tire and spewing debris all across the back straightaway. And of course, who cycled into the lead? Who else? Douche Canoe, Kyle Busch. Once again, his ass got saved, and I turned my TV off, or not my TV, my iPad, because my fucking satellite decided to break, which I guess is a blessing in disguise. And Kyle Busch got his 200th career win across NASCAR's top 3 series. Fuck that shit. I mean, all these people saying, oh, he tied Richard Petty. He did not tie Richard Petty, okay? If he had won 200 cup races, okay, fine. Then we can talk. But no, this is 200 across all NASCAR's top 3 series. It ain't the same. And thank you to Mike Joy for pointing that out during the broadcast today. So anyways, Joey Logano was 2nd, Brad Keselowski 3rd, with Kevin Harvick 4th. Ryan Blaney comes home in 5th with Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Eric Almirola, and Austin Dillon rounding out the top 10. Well, gentlemen, what a snoozer of a race. I'm glad my TV decided to break, and honestly, not much else to talk about, so let's hear your ratings. Nick, we will start with you.
Well, I think I'm going to give it the amount of times you said douche canoe in that recap, and I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Really, I mean, Auto Club, we know can have great racing, but we also know it can have sucky racing. This was the latter. The new package definitely did not help in the way that we thought it would. Restarts were insane, yes. They were like 5 and 6 wide. You could make a lot of passes. There was even some passing for the lead pretty early. But then, yet again, it got strung out as the race wore on. And you really couldn't do anything. It just got so spread out, single file, dirty air was a big deal, cars weren't handling that well, and it's what it is. The pit stop cycled through, Kyle Busch dominated. It never helps when there's such a fast car in a race where the draft plays a role. It's like it didn't even matter. He just checked out and cruised to number 200, and that's really all you can say about it. There was some attrition to an extent, nothing major, but I just expected a lot better. So 3 out of 10 for me. Tyler, what is your rating?
Yeah, 3 out of 10 seems perfectly fair. Gonna give it the same. Yeah, nothing happened really. Just a complete boredom fucking show. Good Lord. Here's the problem. This race turns into basically an F1 style once they get spread out. You know, it's ridiculous. This package has done absolutely nothing. I mean, the race was probably better than last year's Domination Fest, but it's just so disappointing. And this is the second week in a row that we had a car just kick everybody's ass. And that's just not exciting to watch, no matter who it is. Had Brad snuck in there and won, and maybe even Joey, it'd probably be a half a point better, just because we would have seen something other than the predictable. But that didn't happen, and it was just like when the checker flag dropped, my channel changed. Why? Because it was like, thank you. Now this is over. I just really hope we see something better next week. Martinsville seems like the perfect place to do so, but we really need it. We need a shot of energy after these last couple of weeks. So, Kane?
I'm going to agree with the both of you and also give it a 3 out of 10. I mean, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. Dirty air played a huge role, and it did not help one bit when it came to the same guy dominating the whole race. And really, the only exciting part of the race was restarts, and there weren't that many to begin with. But yeah, once the field got spread out, it was, like you said, an F1 style race. And ironically enough, F1 kicked off this weekend as well, and that was also a bore fest. So, enough about that. Let's get away from all this. Let's move on. All right, it's that time once again to hand out some awards for the Auto Club race weekend. And as always, we start off with that classic boner of the week. Nick, who gets the raging this week?
This goes to John Hunter Nemechek in the Xfinity race. He's usually a pretty solid driver, makes some rookie mistakes, but nothing as blatant as this one. He just cut across the nose of Ryan Sieg on the front stretch, all on his own. He said there was some miscommunication with his spotter, but that's still no excuse. You got mirrors, use them, John. Oh, man, and he just clobbered the inside wall, went back up the track. Luckily, no one else was involved, and it kind of made Austin Cindric salty, because Cindric was just mad that Nemechek was racing him too hard. They made some contact earlier, and Cindric was like, I'm going to wreck him. And then the spotter was saying, oh, he's already wrecking. And Cindric's like, what a moron, Josh. I don't know why he called him Josh, but he did. But anyway, what a boner move by Nemechek. He'll get him next time. So, next award.
The next award is the first of 2 days from hell. And the first one goes to Daniel Hemrick. He is also used to having these kinds of days. That's like the 3rd time in his very young Cup career that we've given out this award to him. He finished 32nd, 7 laps down. But how did he get to that point? I mean, he had a solid little start, and then just after a restart, he ends up just clobbering the wall. His right rear tire goes down, and they didn't repair it too well because a few laps after he got back out, the crush panel underneath just shredded that tire again, and he had to go back down. And that's where he lost all those laps doing repairs and just had to ride around for 3/4 of the race. Ugh. Those kinds of days make you cringe. Sorry about your luck, Daniel. Maybe you should worry about the wall a little bit more. You should stay out of that, okay? But even though his day was really bad, somebody else had an even worse day. Kane?
Oh, my boy, Clint Boyer. Man, like the whole entire day for him was a day from hell, as not like halfway through the first stage, he reports to his crew that he dropped a cylinder, maybe, and fortunately, it's really hard to tell with this new package, according to Clint. And sadly, he ended up pulling it behind the wall during the final stage, and he wound up finishing dead ass last. My God. I mean, you drive for one of the best teams in the sport, and this shit happens. It's unacceptable, man. And I honestly feel really sorry for him, Mike, Bugger Ravage, Brett Griffin, that whole 14 team. They don't deserve this shit to happen, but it does. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it, so we'll move on to the next award.
Yeah, it is that classic once again. It is the
Straight Jacket Award!
And it goes to Cup Series qualifying. What the hell was that? You must be freaking crazy if no one is going to make a lap in the final round. I didn't even watch the first 2 rounds, but that doesn't even matter. The final round, everyone played chicken once again, and this time it bit everyone in the ass as no one made a lap. They just all putted around the track trying to not be the first in line. Almost wrecked each other a couple times. They were like 3 wide, going crazy, coming to the line, and it was all for nothing. It was just such a joke. Thank God NASCAR said they're going to look into that and change it for Texas. They need to. Hopefully this kind of crap doesn't happen again. Not much else to say about that, but you're freaking crazy. Let's move on to the cigars. Take it away.
Absolutely. We need to talk about some good things. And we'll give away 2 for the Xfinity race. First off, to race winner Cole Custer. That's what I'm talking about. Get in there. Suck it, Kyle. He delayed the inevitable by a day, but still a great drive. Drove away from Kyle at the end. It looked like he was in prime position to get gobbled up, but he did not buckle to the pressure, and he got it done. So nice job, Cole. Go get some custard. Another good thing about that, too, is it's the first Xfinity driver-only win at Auto Club since 2002 when Scott Riggs won. So, holy Lord, long overdue. Glad that got snapped. And the next Xfinity cigar goes to Ryan Sieg. He, like Ross Chastain, is building up a cigar shop of his own. Even though he finished just outside the top 10 and 11th, he still is the only Xfinity driver in this young season to finish inside the top 11 every single race. So, nice job, Ryan. Keep clicking away those solid results. We have 2 more from the Cup Series. Take it away.
All right, our first Cup cigar, once again, Kurt Busch having a really impressive season with Chip Ganassi Racing. He comes home in 6th. So, once again, another solid performance from the other Busch brother while, the other one's off grabbing all the headlines. Kurt just putting together a really under-the-radar season, putting them results up. So, Kurt, you get a cigar. And our final Cup cigar goes to Austin Dillon. He started on the pole, but before the race even began, he was in the infield care center getting IVs put into him due to sickness. And somehow, even after he cut down a tire and went a lap down early on, he still managed to bring it home in 10th. So an ugly day salvaged with a top 10 finish. Austin Dillon, you get a cigar. And once again, we have one final award that we have to give out. It's the 3rd week in a row that we've been seeing it. So, Nick, who's getting it?
Oh man, well, once again, Kyle Busch gets the crying towel. This was for the Xfinity race. Oh, Kyle, you didn't win an Xfinity race again after dominating. Oh, no. Oh, man, he had it in the bag. Number 200 was in sight, and then his pit crew bottled it. They had an uncontrolled tire, couldn't get the jack up, just all kinds of problems. And too bad Xfinity doesn't have a radioactive because there were some good sound bites, courtesy of Jeff Gluck on Twitter. Kyle was like, oh, that doesn't surprise me. We've heard that comment before from Kyle.
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
And then Kyle was told later, after the restart, that he could still do it. There's still 35 to go. And Kyle's like, you're fucking on crack. Kyle, calm down. Why are you always so negative when things go bad? You have to cheer up your team, not be like this. You're a top driver. It's a series you shouldn't be in. Stop getting all worked up. He still settled for 2nd, but Kyle, you're so whiny.
Big baby IK9. I guess that K9 really did come in and chomp on his nuts there at the end. Oh, no.
Oh, Kyle, you got beat by an Xfinity regular. You didn't win. Oh, but it was such a trying day for you anyways. You led the most laps, you won both stages, and you still didn't win. You finished 2nd. 2nd. I know how much you hate losing, but god damn it, why you gotta be such a salty Snickers, caramel M&M's IK9 son of a bitch?
Presented by Maltesers.
Presented by Maltesers.
And then he wins 200 in the Cup race.
Of fucking course.
Ass. And still, he gets a towel. And, sop up your Xfinity tiers and can add another one where you stole the Xfinity Series drivers' candies. So they stole your candy, bitch. Well, now it's time to take a look at the best paint schemes of the week, but we actually only have one, so no montage. Brad Keselowski's Worth Ford Mustang. And this is a pretty simplistic kind of car. White, red, black. And a little bit of design there in the middle. Kind of gets into all the colors and, mixes it up just a little bit. Very kind of basic, but when I saw this, I'm like, this is actually not too bad. Maybe it's just because we're not seeing the same standard Penske base design that they've been using for too many years. And they changed it up a little bit. So they get props automatically for that. And it's weird because I look at this car and I don't really see Worth. It's actually giving me more of a Snap-on kind of vibe, if I'm going to be honest. But still a very solid looking car, and we appreciate that. I'd also like to take a note on a good side of things. No NASCAR heat contingency decals. Oh my God, it's a miracle. Nobody had those, and that was absolutely epic. So let's hope we never see those again.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Now we venture on to the bad side of things. It's the worst paint schemes of the week. We have 2 of them. Nick, you got a lot to say about this first one, so please tell us all about it.
Yes, the first bad paint scheme of the week, and man, this was a whole saga in itself. It is Bubba Wallace's Plan B Sales Camaro. Now, first of all, if you just saw this paint scheme today, it's really not that bad. They had a nice little promotion where you could get your name on the car, whatever. It's got nice white, black, and blue. It's not terrible. But when you go back to the origins of this paint scheme, oh man, we have a story for you. So back before the season started, Plan B Sales hosted a contest. I entered it. I didn't win, but that's a different story. Plan B was like, alright, we're going to change the requirements as this contest goes along and screw everyone over. It was just like all these last minute suggestions like, oh, we want green because it's going to be St. Patrick's Day, or oh, this guy likes flames. Let's put flames on the car. And it just like threw everyone for a loop. And personally, I was like, I'm not changing it. Whatever. I don't know if that's why I didn't win, but it probably didn't help. But anyway, they weren't being clear with a lot of things. They weren't specific on where the names were going to go. They originally said you didn't need the swoosh, but in the end, they have the Richard Petty swoosh on the car. So I don't really know what they were trying to do there. And then they got salty when people started to call them out that their contest wasn't being run that great. They were like, well, we can't please everyone. I guess next time we'll just make everything ourselves. And they were just not acting very professional. In the end, the best car did win, and I knew they were going to change it a little, but they just kind of took all of the things that made it great and made it less great. Congrats to Kyle. He's a great guy, made a great paint scheme. It was an amazing opportunity, but I just wish the contest was run a little bit smoother. Hopefully down the road, they do make some improvements because I would like to give it another shot, but it was just kind of a missed potential with this whole thing, so.
Hey, Bubba, enjoy your 30th place finish. Hey, right on par with Richard Petty Motorsports. Woo! Left front tire blew.
All right, Kane, what is our last bad paint scheme?
Our last bad paint scheme of the week is Alex Bowman's Nationwide Pet Insurance Chevrolet. There's really not much to this paint scheme. It's literally just blue with white. It's got Alex Bowman's 2 dogs, Finn and Roscoe. Finn on the driver's side and then Roscoe on the passenger side. But that's literally it. The 2 colors are separated by a very faint silver stripe, which you barely can see. It's just a whole lot of nothing, especially when you hear who designed it. Yeah, that's right. Brendan Droppo once again designed another Hendrick paint scheme that looks like ass. All right, I mean, you couldn't just run the regular Nationwide paint scheme with the dogs on the side. The pet insurance has to have its own paint scheme.
The regular paint scheme looks like ass as it is, but then they just like, now let's just go ahead and make it super plain, and maybe people still won't hate. LOL.
Well, it is that time, as always, to recap the fantasy picks from Auto Club. And Damani came home with the victory by picking Kyle Busch. He swept everything and brought home the max points at 60. I came home second. I picked Kevin Harvick, who finished 4th in the 4-car. Tyler picked Martin Truex Jr., and he came home 8th after having some damage in an earlier crash. He got 29 points. And Kane, he picked Kyle Larson, who had a very un-Kyle Larson-like day for a 2-mile track. He finished 12th and got only 25 points. So as we head into Martinsville, where Kane and Tyler are going to be, I am really jealous I couldn't make it, but Kane has the first fantasy pick. Who are you going with?
The same guy that's been pissing us off the last however many weeks, Kyle Busch.
Not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
I hope he doesn't win on Sunday because that would fucking suck. But hey, at least I'll be getting something out of the deal. So Kyle Busch. Tyler, who's your pick?
Oh, man. I've been really getting run up the ass here in this whole fantasy standings. I'm behind. I finally beat you, Kane, but oh, wow, I gained 4 points on you. Boy, I'll go down and get me a freaking DQ cone on the... I'm so pissed. It has nothing to do with Martinsville, but we're going to be there. We're going to have some hot dogs. And I'm thinking I'm going to watch probably Brad Keselowski win.
Kyle Busch is an ass.
Yeah, I mean, like, Of course. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, okay, hi, Brad. I don't really want you to win. Can we have a different winner, please? And Brad's just like, no, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win. All right, cool. Let's go home now. I feel like that's how the day's going to go. But we're still going to try to make the most out of it. And I really need some points. But maybe I'll bring bad luck for Brad. I don't know. Bad luck, Brad. Nick?
Well, I'm going to go with another driver we don't want to win. And hopefully I can jinx him as well. It was the driver that won here last time in the fall, Joey Logano.
Driving like an idiot as always.
I mean, wouldn't that be something if he won when Kane and Tyler were meeting up? They would just ruin the crap out of their day, but it would give me some points, and I kind of need it. So if it's a predictable enough race, Joey Logano's going to bring it home. Whatever. Damani, who is your pick?
May win the battle, but he ain't winning the damn war.
Thank you, Damani.
Well, that does it for another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. The perky that makes you a jerk, not necessarily. For Damani HD, we never know when he'll come back. I miss you, man. Oh, my God. For Pro Bowl 43, oh my goodness, I can't wait to meet him for the first time this Sunday. It's going to be amazing. For Thermite 917, we wish you could be there with us. It's just a damn shame how shit works out.
Haha, you suck, Nick. Oh, damp up your tears.
And for myself, Kane Jr. 88, this has been Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky, and thank you for listening.
Let's freaking just bang this thing out.
All right, I'll let you know when it's good. Now we hear a dog.
That's not me. It's not
That's
me.
mine.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Oh my God.
Okay, it's recording.
Welcome to Behind the Wall.
Yeah.
Hey! I hear you down there, Sienna. Don't think that I won't come down there and start smacking.
I will hunt you down and kick your ass.
I love you, but you're loud.
Like Kane.
So we have a race recap. Kane, I believe it's your ball this week. You gonna kick it? Roll it?
Hell yeah.
Hit it with a stick?
Nah.
I don't know, dude. Just take it.
It's not much, but anyways. Joey Logano was second, Kevin Harvick third, with Denny Hamlin fourth, Martin Truex Jr. fifth. Or wait, what the hell am I reading?
No.
I'm reading the points. I am reading the point standing. My bad.
You should adjust that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, here we go.
Brad Keselowski's worst Ford Fusion. It's Mustang. But it's blue.
And it's got puppies on it. Look, even if my own two dogs were on the car, I'd still hate it. All right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're just copying Nutrichomps.
They probably have shitty insurance. How do you even insure a pet? Like, get out of here, Nationwide. Stop trying to be cool. Like, we insure pets. Oh, okay. I can insure my own pet.
Well, if my dog gets hurt and can't work, I know who to count on.
Yeah. Well, I think it might be more aimed at people who have like a shitload of pets, like Junior, for example. You know, not only does he have Gus and Junebug, he's
we
got
get it.
ponies and buffalo and whatnot.
Stop!
Yeah.
He's got ponies, he has buffalo, he has sheep, he has even water buffalo, which is a different kind of buffalo, just added on with the original buffalo.
And then there's Amy.
She's a real animal. Yeah, goddamn right she is.
Oh, you're still here? The show's over. Go home.
Shut up, Nick.